Hi everyone, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And we're back with Davy and Ava. Ava's Davy's swimming coach. She's giving him some lessons.
That's right.
And we found out yesterday that Davy is more confident now than before. He isn't scared of the water.
Yeah, he used to be quite nervous getting in the water. Maybe he's never swum before. Or maybe like some people, he had a scary experience. Maybe his older brother pushed him in a pool when he couldn't swim, and since then, he was always nervous, but Ava's done a great job of helping him become more comfortable, holding his breath, putting his face under the water, lifting his legs off the bottom, doing things like that. And so the classes seem to be going well, and Davy told Ava that he is feeling much more comfortable and confident in the water. And in the class that we talked about, they were doing one of these exercises, a jellyfish float.
Yep, which is kind of floating face down in the water, breathing slowly. You can use it to stay in the water for a long time and keep your energy. Davy is also practicing his Flutter Kicks, which is sort of kicking just from the bottom of your legs, the ankles and so on. However, Davy is still a bit nervous about going underwater. He doesn't really like that. Ava says he will grow to like it because it's very calming down there.
There you go. So he tries it out. He tries out that jellyfish float, takes a big breath, puts his head under the water, lifts his legs, and he says it's like a whole new world. It was very quiet and calm and relaxing down there. So that sounds like something he might practice again in his own time.
Yep.
But when we finished it off for yesterday, Davy was kind of saying that he wants to continue his lessons, and they were going to do these little flutter kicks, another little kicking exercise that's going to work out his legs and his upper body. All good stuff and all skills you need to improve on to become a comfortable swimmer.
So let's find out how that goes in day 2 of our article.
Reading.
Davy's swimming lesson. Davy is practicing flutter kicks in the shallow end of the pool.
This is exhausting.
Bend your knees a little. Good. Keep your toes pointed.
Oh, this feels better.
When you kick, flex your ankles. This gives you more strength. Yes, nice and smooth, like you're kicking a soccer ball. Okay, take 5.
Davy takes a break.
Do you play soccer, Ava?
No, but I'd like to. I enjoy team sports, and I hear it's good for building physical strength.
I can teach you how to play soccer if you like.
Let's make a deal. If you learn how to swim, you can show me how to kick a soccer ball properly.
Deal! Soon, I'll be capable of swimming from one end of the pool to the other without a float.
I'm looking forward to that day. Now, it's time we got back to practice. Keep kicking, and remember to do your breathing exercises at the same time.
Okay, soon I won't be such a fish out of water.
Davy continues practicing.
All right, so the article for today begins by kind of telling us what's going on. It's basically where we left it yesterday. Davy is practicing flutter kicks in the shallow end of the pool. That's the proper end, I guess, the wise end of the pool to use for a swimming class, because if it's shallow, it's not very deep. In other words, he can probably touch the bottom of the pool very, very easily. If he gets tired or scared or something like that, he won't be, flailing around in the water. Oh, I'm gonna drown. No, he can just put his feet down and stand right up. He'll be perfectly fine. The shallow end is where you might do your lessons. The deep end, which often is at the other end of the pool, that's where you would go diving or something, because you can go down much, much further. But I remember as a student, every time we went into the deep end when I was a little kid, it was a little scary. And you'd always want to be not too far from the edge so you can hold on. But the shallow end is a good place for these, beginner swimmers to have their classes.
Yeah, Mike mentioned that it's good for when you're tired and you might need to touch the bottom,
Yeah.
because that's how Davy feels. He says this, meaning the flutter kicks, is exhausting. The word exhausting means extremely tiring. It's not just a little bit tiring, it's super very tiring. It's one of these strong adjectives we can use to mean very something, like scorching hot is very hot, freezing is very cold, and we've got exhausting is very tiring.
All right, so Ava is kind of giving him a little bit of a tip here, a little bit of instruction. She is the swimming coach after all. So she suggests bend your knees a little, all right? So don't keep your legs too straight. You can bend your knees a little. That might give you a little bit more power, and plus your muscles won't be so tight and tense. You can relax your muscles a bit. Now, when we bend something, basically we're taking a part of our body that can move in different directions, and we are moving it in different directions. You can bend your finger like that, or I can bend my arm like this, because, you know, we have these things called joints where things can turn and twist and move in different directions. You can also bend other things. If you have a thin piece of wood, you might be able to bend it, or a plastic ruler, but if you bend it too far, it could break. But some things are designed to bend a little bit or a lot. Here we have an example sentence about another part of our body that could bend. Abby bent down to pick up her crying baby. All right, bent would be the past tense of the verb bend, and here I guess she's bending her back probably, or maybe bending her knees or something like that. So those are parts of our bodies that we can twist and turn to, you know, move in different directions and be in different positions.
So Ava continues with the instructions, saying, good. So he's obviously bending his knees.
Good.
Keep your toes pointed. So keep your toe, don't kind of flatten your feet out. Keep them in a straight line. So you'll get a lot more balance, a lot less water resistance when you try and kick.
So bend the knees, but don't bend your foot or your toe too much. Try to keep that part straight while your knees are doing a little bit more of the bending. And Davy tries this. He listens to her advice. He bends his knees, keeps his toes pointed, and after a few seconds or after a few kicks, he says, oh, this feels better. He's noticed that this is more comfortable. Maybe he's even moving a little bit faster and he's not working so hard. So a good tip.
Yeah, and then Ava gives him another. When you kick, flex your ankles.
Oh, okay.
So to flex means to kind of tighten muscles, to bend and then straighten a body part. It basically means bend one way, then the other. Not too much, not all the way, but just kind of kick them, like flexing your arms, flexing your fingers, that kind of thing. So she's telling him how to use his ankles and feet just to give the full power, so the kick is using all the right parts and he's not working against himself.
All right, so he's flexing or bending on one of these other parts of our body that's designed to do that. I can't really show you my legs and feet here on camera, but I could sort of show you using my arm as an example. This is your wrist, and you bend your hand, right? You can flex your hand. Well, down at the bottom of your leg, and if this is my foot, the ankle would be that part. So it's at the bottom of your leg, your foot sticks out, and you can bend your ankle if you're playing soccer, if you're running, if you're dancing, even if you're bending down to pick something off the floor, your foot and your leg will move in slightly different directions, and the place that they move that joint is the ankle. For example, ankle injuries are quite common for soccer players. They're running and turning and stopping. Basketball players probably get ankle injuries too, because sometimes you can bend and flex your ankle in the bad direction and hurt yourself.
Yeah. Now, the reason Ava tells him to flex his ankles like that is this gives you more strength.
Okay, makes sense.
So, strength is power. Generally, we mean physical power. Strength is the noun form of strong. So, if you're a strong person, you have a lot of strength. We could talk about mental strength as well, having a very strong mind, being able to make decisions and not worry too much about things. But here we're talking about physical strength, the power to push him through the water, power to keep him afloat instead of sinking, that kind of thing. Here's another way we can talk about strength in a physical fashion. Tom lifts weights to build up his muscle strength.
All right, so he tries it out. He tries to flex and bend and get more power the way his coach was suggesting. And as she watches him, she says, yes, nice and smooth. So she approves of what he's doing. He's doing it the right way, just the way she told him. And his movements, his actions, and the way he's moving through the water is nice, good, in other words, and smooth. Okay, this is an interesting adjective. We often use smooth to talk about how something feels, right? Silk or glass might feel very smooth under your hands as opposed to a rock or something like that, which would be quite rough, kind of, harsh on your skin. But here we're talking more about movement and how something moves gracefully or something like that. So a smooth movement is one that looks very well practiced. You're doing it almost like your whole body is working as one thing. Dancers need to be quite smooth. When you see those folks in the park doing their Tai Chi and it's sort of almost like a dance, their movements are very smooth. They're not moving in a kind of jerky robot-like way like that. No, they're moving almost like they're a piece of grass or a tree being blown by the wind or something. And often when we're talking about dancers or athletes or people like that, you get this smooth movement through a lot of practice and a lot of training and making sure that all your muscles are doing the right thing all at the same time. For example, the tennis player hit the ball with one smooth movement. Yeah, to play tennis properly, you can't hit the ball like that, like you're hitting a baseball. No, it has to be a little bit smoother to control the power and direction of the ball. If you want to watch a tennis player with smooth movement, I'm sure Roger Federer or Rafa Nadal, his backhand is famous for being very smooth.
Yep, and Ava in fact likens it to another sport when he's flexing his ankles. She says, like you're kicking a soccer ball.
Oh, with the legs.
That kind of movement. And then she says, okay, take 5.
Take 5 breaths?
No, not take 5 breaths. Take 5 is a good idiom. It's a very useful one. It just means take a break.
Take 5 minutes.
Let's take 5. Take 5 minutes. It's usually 5 minutes, but we just say take 5. Have a break. It may not be exactly 5 minutes, but a short rest.
There you go. So Davy takes a break. He takes 5. He probably swims over to the edge of the pool, holds on a little bit so he doesn't have to keep himself floating. He can relax his body and he won't be afraid of sinking or anything like that. So as he's taking a break, as they're taking 5, he decides to, have a quick conversation with his coach. He says, do you play soccer, Ava?
Obviously that whole soccer ball thing, kicking a soccer ball, has maybe sparked something in his mind. Well, Ava says, no, but I'd like to. I enjoy team sports and I hear soccer, I hear soccer is good for building physical strength. So we've already looked at the word strength for power, but what do we mean by physical?
Yeah, physical strength. Well, physical is a word we often use in science and medicine, but generally it's a word that just means of the body. So if we're talking about physical strength, we're talking about muscle power and things like that. You can have other kinds of strength. Mental strength is how strong your mind is. If you're very determined, if you always work hard at things or something like that, that might be mental strength. Physical strength is not something you'd work at in the library or by studying a lot. It's something you would work at in the gym or by exercising a lot, because physical means about the body, the muscles and things like that. For example, for this physical test, you must do 20 sit-ups in 30 seconds.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. If it was a mental test, you might have to answer 5 math questions in 5 minutes or something. That would be a test of your mind. A physical test is a test of your body.
So Davy is obviously quite a fan. Maybe he plays soccer as well. Okay. He's kind of really into this idea. He says, I can teach you how to play soccer if you like. Oh. Maybe he likes a bit of running around, playing some, what in Britain we would call football. And he's saying, I can teach you how to play soccer.
Okay, so the coach will become the student and the student will be the coach. They can switch skills. And Ava likes the sound of that. She thinks that sounds like a pretty good deal. So she says, let's make a deal. Oh, so she's kind of come up with a sort of, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. That's what we're talking about here, making a deal. So yeah, if we make a deal, we're entering into some kind of agreement. We both agree, we both think that this is a good thing, and the deal will be I will do something for you, and in return, you will do something for me. Both people should be happy with that. They should be sort of feeling it's an equal exchange, right? One side is not giving away a lot more than the other side. Of course, a lot of deals might involve money. If you're buying something in a store, it's kind of like making a deal, but generally, it might be something you would talk about with the person first. If you're buying a house or something like that, that would be a big deal involving a lot of money, and both sides have to agree that this is fair. But we can do it in other ways that don't involve money. We can just sort of do a favor. If I do something nice for you, and then you do something nice back for me, we both feel that this has been a good arrangement. We both come out of it better. We've made a deal, and both sides are happy. So let's get back to the article and see what kind of deal they make.
So here is the deal, and Ava's being kind of quite clever here,
Okay.
really encouraging Davy to keep going on with his lessons. She says, if you learn how to swim, you can show me how to kick a soccer ball properly.
Oh,
so
okay.
she's saying you've got to do all your part first. You've got to get the incentive. You've got to really learn how to swim properly, because that means she'll have done her job and he will have learned the useful thing. So she's kind of offering him that if he wants to teach her how to kick a football.
All right, so let's keep reading to see what Davy thinks of this idea. Well, it seems that he likes it because he says deal. Now, he's not just talking about what they did. Yes, that is a deal. But when you say that after someone sort of puts forward the idea, how about this? I'll give you A if you give me B. If you agree with that, you don't have to say, I agree, or that sounds good, let's shake hands. You can just say deal. All right, that just means that's a good deal, I agree. Or if you feel that it's completely unfair and you're not interested, you can say no deal. I don't want to do that. That's a terrible idea. I will never agree to that. But if you do agree, like Davy, you can just say deal. In other words, okay, I agree. And then he continues, soon I'll be capable of swimming from one end of the pool to the other without a float. That would be a very good thing, a very good goal to aim for. He wants to be capable of swimming from one end of the pool to the other without a float, without any extra help, just doing it with his own arms and legs. Because he's learning how to swim, he's learning how to be capable of swimming. If you're capable, this adjective just means you're able to do something, all right? You know how to do it. You maybe took some classes, maybe it's something you picked up, something you taught yourself, who knows? But you have that skill, you have the ability to do that thing. If you're continue studying with us, then eventually you will be capable of speaking English, hopefully. For example, we could say, I don't think I'm capable of climbing that mountain today. I'm too tired, all right? So yeah, some days you could be capable of doing something, but on another day you might not be. But it just means that you have the ability, the skills, or the time, or the energy to do something, whatever someone is asking or whatever you want to do. If you can do it, you're capable.
And Ava is hoping that Davy will be capable of swimming from one end.
That's why they're there.
Again, it's all part of her job as coach.
Right.
And she says, I'm looking forward to that day. If you're looking forward to something, you are excited about this thing, and it's in the future. You know it's coming up and you're really interested. You can't wait for it to happen. We can say look forward to something like a noun. I'm looking forward to the party. We can also use a V-I-N-G. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm looking forward to watching this movie, and so on. So she's kind of made the deal. She's given him a bit of extra encouragement. She's given him another reason to keep learning and keep improving.
That's right. And it seems that their little break, taking 5, that little break time that she asked for, or she called, that time is up. And she says, now it's time we got back to practice. In other words, let's restart the lesson. Break time's over, time to get back to work. And so Ava says to Davy, keep kicking. They're still doing those little flutter kicks. Keep kicking, and remember to do your breathing exercises at the same time. Yeah, having good breathing skill, being able to hold your breath for a long time, knowing when to breathe as you're in your swimming stroke. All of that stuff will make you a much better, stronger, and more confident swimmer. So don't forget to do your breathing stuff while you're also doing your kicking stuff.
Yep, and Davy says, okay, and then adds, soon I won't be such a fish out of water. Now, the phrase a fish out of water is an interesting one with a cool meaning. Let's go to today's pocket phrase Go and find out what this phrase means and how we can use it.
Pocket phrase Go!
花妈平常都在家当家庭主妇，顶多去菜市场啦。那天三角太太忽然呢约我去高级餐厅吃饭I felt like a fish out of water at that fancy restaurant. 在这么高级的餐厅全身不自在啦。哎呦，大家有没有看过鱼离开水会怎么样？哎，会很痛苦，不能呼吸所以呢 ，a fish out of the water 就是如鱼离水，在陌生环境觉得不自在、不得其所的意思啦。
So there, a fish out of water, somebody who would be completely uncomfortable in a particular situation.
Nope, Davey will soon be a dolphin or a shark or a penguin. I don't know, some kind of confident animal or person in the water, because as we finish off the dialogue, we see the lesson continues and Davey continues practicing. Keep going, Davey. You're going to get there soon. Soon you'll be swimming from one end of the pool to the other without a float and maybe even underwater, holding your breath the whole way.
Cool.
That would be a good challenge.
All right, well, we're going to leave them there and go to today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So today's question is, what is something you could teach another person how to do? Now, for us, we could, of course, just say, speak English, read English, and so on.
Sure.
But let's forget about this and think of maybe something a bit more practical, something more physical. What could you give lessons in and teach a person how to do?
Well, English lessons make up much of what we do, but recently I've been giving bass guitar lessons to a few interested friends. I always kind of tell them I never really took a lesson. I taught myself how to play, but I just pass on tips and techniques, things that I found when I started playing, helped me get better, and things that I've learned since then. So I can do that, but I don't usually charge money or anything for that because, I'm just passing on my knowledge. It's not a formal class, kind of like what Davey is doing with Ava.
I guess I could teach somebody improvised acting. I've done acting of various kinds. I haven't really taken acting classes, but I have taken improv classes, which is when you have no script, no play. All you do is get on stage with some other actors, get a few ideas from the audience, and then you perform short scenes or long plays. I've done that for a number of years. I've taken classes, so I could probably teach somebody some of the basics, some of the games, some of the skills, and just kind of get them kind of used to doing it. I've never taught somebody, but I have given a few sessions to friends, just introducing some new concepts and ideas that I've learned from my teachers.
There you go. So lots of people have different skills, if it's acting, music, something to do with sports or art or anything like that. So what about you guys? What is something you could teach another person how to do? You don't have to be good enough to teach it in a school or to charge money to, classes or things like that, but something you feel you have good skills at and you have a little bit of wisdom that you could pass on to help other people. What is it? Have a chat about that. And we'll see you back here for more fun and fascinating articles in the very near future. Until then, keep your head above water.
For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Mike.
Keep swimming. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
Davey's swimming lesson. Davey is practicing flutter kicks in the shallow end of the pool.
This is exhausting.
Bend your knees a little. Good. Keep your toes pointed.
Oh, this feels better.
When you kick, flex your ankles. This gives you more strength. Yes, nice and smooth, like you're kicking a soccer ball. Okay, take 5.
Davey takes a break.
Do you play soccer, Ava?
No, but I'd like to. I enjoy team sports, and I hear it's good for building physical strength.
I can teach you how to play soccer if you like.
Let's make a deal. If you learn how to swim, you can show me how to kick a soccer ball properly.
Deal! Soon, I'll be capable of swimming from one end of the pool to the other without a float.
I'm looking forward to that day. Now, it's time we got back to practice. Keep kicking, and remember to do your breathing exercises at the same time.
Okay, soon I won't be such a fish out of water.
Davy continues practicing.
Vocabulary Review.
Bend. Isabella sometimes has to bend down when going through doors because she's very tall. Ankle. Jason fell down while he was playing basketball and twisted his ankle. Strength. Ben has been working out at the gym, so he now has more strength than before. Smooth. The runners keep their movements smooth so that they don't injure themselves. Physical. Jessica exercises almost every day, so she is in very good physical condition. Capable. My eyes are getting worse. I'm no longer capable of driving without wearing glasses.
智慧小补帖
Exhausting. Flex.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net